Hey y'all, it is finally a sunny day, so we are going to go visit the person who was never actually credited with creating the Monopoly game, but it was actually originally called the Landlords Game, but we'll get into that. But I figure since it's nice and sunny today, we'll go ahead and we'll go see the almost 800 square foot home that she grew up in here in Illinois. It's still standing. So let's do this. So this is the square, and we are actually turning before the square to get to Lizzie's house. This tiny small town is where she grew up. These are just some of the buildings on the square here. It's where Western Illinois University is. Home of Leathernecks. I'm going to show you this mural that's on the side of the wall here, because they're very proud of this mural here. So you can see some of the old houses out here. This old church right here. This church is old. And a lot of these streets are one-ways out here. So don't get lost. You'll be turning down the wrong direction, I'll tell you that. So this is it, y'all. This tiny house right here is where she grew up, and look how small that house is. This is where she grew up. That's it. Tiny little house. Look at the house up here. Such old buildings out here, but like I told you, all one ways out this direction. Can't get out because somebody actually lives in this house. That house, y'all, is only 783 square feet, and there's a little barn that still stands out in the backyard. But that's where she grew up, and just speaking from experience, it stays cold here for a long time, so that's probably why she had enough time to come up with the game Monopoly or the Landlords Game. So now you know the rest of the story. I'm going to include some clips from the PBS special that they ran on her. And maybe you, if you like board games, you might want to dig a little deeper into this because it's a very interesting story. She never passed go and collected 200, let's put it that way. Parker Brothers did. Alright, y'all, stay tuned. So the spot we are talking about with the birthplace of Monopoly, or Lizzie, the inventor of Monopoly, is right here, the one and only. Right here. Here it is. Which is just north of Western Illinois University campus. Is out here. Just that way to the right. There you have the Amtrak station here in Macomb. And you've got the Forgotonia Brewery, part of Western Illinois. And the visitor center is all right here. This is the old train station, which is now Amtrak. So we're gonna check this out, and then we're gonna hit the actual brewery right next door. There's the Leatherneck Bulldog there, they painted. But this is actually the old train station. Okay. And as you can see, there is the Monopoly. Birthplace of the Monopoly. The game we all know as Monopoly was first known as a Landlords Game. In 1903, Lizzie Magie filed a legal claim for the above game, which was more than 3 decades before the Parker brothers began manufacturing Monopoly. The plot of the board game is surprisingly similar to that of Macomb's Downtown Square. And here is the station, which is really cool. They turned it into the Amtrak station now, which is awesome. In its efforts to seize total control of Monopoly and other related games, the company struck a deal with Magie to purchase her Landlord's Game patent and 2 more of her game ideas not long after it made its deal with Darrow. While Darrow made millions and struck an agreement that ensured he would receive royalties, Maggie's income for her creation was reported to be a mere $500. Monopoly would go on to be a bestseller for generations.
How much money do we give out? Everybody gets 2 500s and 6 20s. Okay, this is a lot of money. I know.
It's America's game. It's the games of our childhood.
It's the biggest success the board game industry has ever seen.
It was supposed to be a critique of capitalism, and it turned out to be a celebration of it.
This story about Monopoly is filled with ironies.
When you look at Lizzie Magie's Landlord's Game, you see the origins of Monopoly in it.
In 1904, Lizzie Magie receives the patent, the first patent by a woman for a board game in U.S. history.
So how Charles Darrow was able to go in 1935 and get a patent for Monopoly with his name on it is mysterious.
And ultimately, Parker Brothers comes in and monopolizes Monopoly.
They erase her from the history of the game for good.
It is a zero-sum game, and so the kind of rhetoric there is that there can be only one victor.